Index, index, index! It's about time, isn't it?
Before we get into the Easter egg, here's the suggested loadout for the boss fight, which is a CR56 AMAX with these attachments. And for the field upgrade, we're going to be using Aether Shroud with Group Shroud and Extension for the augments. After opening Pack-a-Punch, the first step is going to be waiting until round 10 and killing the lab technician within the mainframe chamber to obtain the floppy disk. And with that, we're going to interact with this computer in the East Foyer. Doing so, we'll print a piece of paper with a word on it that you need to remember. In the nursery, approach this board to get a code with the word we got. We need to get a number for each of the letters of the word. For example, my word is crab, so C is 9, R is 7, A is 2, and B is 9. With the newfound code, we're going to use it on the code lock in the service tunnel. Once the door opens, make sure to kill the Doppelgas and pick up the arm that he drops. Now, we're going to use the arm on the scanner in the armory to unlock the Raygun Mark II. Collect the first free axe at the garden pond, and the second in the security overlook. In the mainframe chamber, remember the letter to the left of the glass container. With those axes we picked up, we're going to throw at the wheel in the middle and at the wheel with the letter that we remembered. Now the container should be filled with gas, so throw an explosive at it to collect the empty canister. Collect the free Casimir grenade in the service tunnel. With it obtained, come to this location at the rear patio and throw it at this barricade. And that's how we acquire our second empty canister. And for the final canister, we're going to have to destroy ether cocoons in the following areas until it drops for you. And the service tunnel is the first place we check, followed by the East Foyer. Next up, we have the southwest balcony. And finally in my game, we got it at the conservatory. Collect the first reflector in the fountain at the southwest balcony, and the second reflector is in the other fountain at the conservatory. For this next step, we have to destroy white boxes around the map until an essence bomb drops from one of them, and it is guaranteed on the 8th. Here are all the locations. Garden pond, left of the portal at spawn. Lower terrace, right of the stairs. Conservatory, downstairs near the hole in the wall. Upper terrace, near the conservatory. Shim's hinge, next to the rock near entrance. Motor court, left of the ammo cache. Second location, motor court, left of the workbench. Grand foyer, near the entrance. Overlook, east side. Overlook, west side. West hallways, right of the computer equipment. Second location, west hallways, near depth perception. West balcony, next to the west railing. Southwest balcony, next to the west railing. Study, right of this table. East foyer, below the writing on the wall. Library, near the white computer equipment. East foyer, near this door close to elemental pop. Rear patio, next to the east railing. Mainframe chamber, to the right of the first door by. Service tunnel, to the right of the first door exit. Second location, service tunnel, to the right of the giant door. Third location, service tunnel, back left corner of the tunnel. And the final location is inside the armory. Now that we've acquired the essence bomb, place it at this location in the service tunnel. Start the Preservation Raygun Mark II challenge with the first empty canister. Place the reflector and melee it to direct the beam to each of the 3 Doppelgas statues. Place the other reflector above and direct the beam as I do. Now melee the crystal in the middle. And kill the first Doppelgast. Pick up the reflector and move the direction of the other. Now we're going to place the reflector we picked up. And we're going to melee the crystal in the middle again. And kill the second Doppelgast. Melee the reflector until it's directed at the final Doppelgast. And this will be our last time meleeing the crystal in the middle. And kill that final Doppelgast. Now that the challenge is done, pick up the light canister. With that, we're going to build the Preservation Raygun Mark II in the Director's Quarters. That's the Raygun Mark II P. For the next Raygun Mark II variant, we're going to have to destroy these plant pods with the base Raygun Mark II, explosives, or fire in the following areas until you acquire 4 plant seeds. Now that you have 4 seeds, here are the harvester locations where you place and defend them. Also, if you failed one of the harvesters, no worries, you can restart by picking up the seed in front of the harvester and trying again. Place the empty canister to start the Rot Blight challenge. Here are 2 examples of what the beginning and end look like in the defend process, so you're able to know when you're done. And once you're finished defending, pick up the toxic canister. And then build the Blight Rot Raygun Mark II at the Garden Pond. This is the Raygun Mark II B. For the final variant, we're going to place the 3rd empty canister to start the Wraith Fire Raygun Mark II challenge. What you're going to have to do is get the Abomination to laser all 3 small rocks and have them run into it once they're glowing blue. Once completed, we're going to have to defend this circle from vermin getting inside of it. A little small trick I'm not showing in the gameplay here is using Aether Shroud and just standing on that circle and killing the vermin as they come up to you. Once finished, we're going to pick up the explosive canister. With that, we're going to build the Wraith Fire Raygun Mark II at the supply depot. That is the Raygun Mark II W. With the Raygun Mark II P, activate the soul box at the banquet hall to open up the liminal space. With that done, we're going to pick up the ritual elixir inside the liminal banquet hall. With that elixir, we're going to interact with this chalice inside the bottlery and kill a disciple that spawns. Next up, we're going to interact with this chalice at the overlook and kill the disciple that spawns again. And the final chalice is at the garden pond, so kill that last disciple. And once complete, we're going to head over to the elevator next to the banquet hall and remember these 3 numbers. And with those remembered, we're going to go to the west hallways and put them in the safe, in the order from left to right. Once you get the safe open, pick up the antler carving. Head over to the pedestal and kill the enemy with the Raygun Mark II P. And once defeating him, we're going to be picking up the Sentinel artifacts. With the Raygun Mark II R, activate the soul box at the library to open up the liminal space. Also, be sure to enter the liminal space once it's completed or the items in Aether Shroud won't spawn. And here are the following locations at the 3 fireplaces that the ID badge can be in. You have to be in Aether Shroud, and you are still able to pick it up after a few seconds of Aether Shroud ending. And here's the following 2 locations that the audio log can be in while in Aether Shroud. And finally, here are the following 2 locations that the ledger will be in while in Aether Shroud. Also, before showing my example for picking up the items, here's 3 locations that an Aether Shroud charge can be found at if you don't have one during the step. Here's an example of me picking up the audio log and ledger while in Aether Shroud. And here's the ID badge at one of the fireplaces. After you pick up those 3 items, you'll have to place these 3 books in the correct order, and you'll have to figure that out through trial and error. And once you figure out that order, we're going to be picking up the nuclear plant inspection report. And with it acquired, we're going to be placing it on the pedestal and killing the enemy with the Raygun Mark II B. And be sure to pick up the Sentinel artifact. Next up, we're going to be picking up the sconce at the banquet hall. And with it, we're going to be placing it at this location in the Grand Foyer and playing a short game of Simon Says. And now that we have it open, we're going to be activating this soul box and killing zombies with the Raygun Mark II W to open up the liminal space. In the study, there is a bell behind these locations. Break the glass to find it and pick it up. Here's an example in my game of what the bell looks like. For this next step, we're going to need brain rot on one of our guns. We're going to be placing that bell at the bar in the overlook, brain rotting a zombie, and ringing that bell. Once the zombie gets behind the bar, he'll give you a metal hip flask. And we're going to be placing that on the pedestal and killing the enemy with the Raygun Mark II W. And be sure to pick up the Sentinel artifact for the last time. Before entering the boss fight, be sure to craft the death machine because it helps a lot during the boss fight. And before we give Sam the Sentinel artifact, we're going to be getting prepped up. I would highly recommend that loadout weapon I showed at the beginning of the video and the Raygun Mark II W. One tip I can give you for this boss fight is having the Z-Rex eat toxic zombies because he'll grow spores on himself, and then you can pop those spores to deal extra damage. And of course, be sure to keep your distance from the Z-Rex or he'll catch up to you and kill you pretty quick. And that was a little short example of what the first phase might look like for you. This boss fight is not that much different from the first phase, just each phase that you continuously go through gets just a little bit harder with more toxicity circles on the ground, more zombies, and the Z-Rex seems to get a bit faster. And when needed, of course use your Aether Shroud if you're about to go down, but if you really want to get some damage chunks in there, be sure to use them and focus on them as much as you can. And here's a beautiful example of what the death machine can do to the boss. It just completely annihilates him. So I would definitely say save it for the final phase. And that's it, we've defeated the Z-Rex. Now let's see what we've earned for those rewards. You get your standard Shattered Veil completion calling card, and you get this amazing looking PH Deadly skin for Carver. And I just want to thank y'all so much for watching the video. Any support helps us go a long ways on this channel. We're trying to produce some of the best COD zombie Easter egg guides out there that most people aren't looking into anymore. We're trying to test out and look for all these locations that most YouTubers didn't really look that hard into. So we're just trying to help the little guys out there that really can't get those Easter eggs done.
I want to wish you peace and good luck. You'll need it. Auf Wiedersehen until next time.